Welcome in the Quest Number 9 podcast. My name is Seth Warner. Today we're going to recap Kentucky's 91-83 win. In this game, Kentucky really dominated outside of the first 11 minutes where Missouri had about a 7 or 8 point lead for most of that section. And after that, Kentucky had a largest lead at 16 points, with some of the standouts, especially in the first half, being Andrew Carr, who had 16 points, 12 boards, was a really efficient 5 for 8 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. He missed a few free throws, but still being 4. Kobe Brea was really big in the first half. He had 17 points, 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3 with 4 boards, and made some big shots to change the momentum of the game, allowing Kentucky to create a buffer between them and Missouri. Colin Chandler was a guy off the bench that I thought was impressive in the first half. He played 16 minutes, was 3 for 5 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3 with 8 points, and knocked down a big 3 at the end of the half to put Kentucky's lead up to 9 going into halftime. And in the second half is where Kentucky got their largest lead, and Otega-Owe struggled in the first half, only having 2 points, ended up with 22 points, having 20 points in the second half. He played 28 minutes. He was 6 for 17 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, 2 boards, and like I said, 22 points, and was doing a really good job chasing defensively for a Missouri team that is second in the SEC in three-point shooting, where Kentucky's first. Like I was talking about Andrew Carr, he played his season high of minutes, 34 minutes. That's the most he's played all year. That just shows him getting more and more healthy with those back issues. The big issue in the first half for Kentucky was foul trouble, where Otega-Owe had too early. Lamont Butler had 2 early fouls that hindered especially Otega from creating some momentum in the first half. But he had several really good steals to still allow himself to get on the board. And Lamont Butler just did a little bit of everything like he always does. He played 26 minutes. He had 2 assists. He had 8 points. And he had several big drives to the rack where he finished. He burned them on their pressure and made it count. Kentucky in this game made 11 threes on 20 attempts. That's 55%. And was 48% from the field, and that's 27. They were 27 of 56. They had 13 assists, 37 rebounds. They won the rebound battle by 1 in this game. And out of Missouri's starters, Kentucky only allowed 1 guy to get into double figures, and that was Mark Mitchell, the Duke transfer, who's been averaging like 14 points this year. The 6'9" power forward wing hybrid really was effective in this game. He had 22 points, 7 boards. He was 8 for 14 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. He's one of the more versatile players I've seen this year with his combination of his athleticism and speed and comfortability on the ball, creating for himself and creating for others. They played a lot of small ball with him at the 5, where Kentucky really did not have an answer for him all game, and he played 34 minutes. But early on in this game, both teams really struggled. The score at halftime was 38-29, so both teams really started to light it up in the second half. Kentucky started 2 for 12 to start the game, and both teams really started slow. Another big storyline in this game was Kentucky's turnovers. Coming in this game, the last few, we've had a lot of turnover issues, and in this game, Kentucky only had 10 turnovers, and 6 of those were in the first half. Of the second half, Kentucky barely had any turnovers, and Kentucky ended up winning the rebound battle. They were down on rebounds a lot early in the game. That's where a lot of Missouri's points came from. Missouri had 14 offensive rebounds, Kentucky's 10. They had 66 attempts, Kentucky had 56 attempts, so that really allowed them to stay in this game. Kentucky had chances to really make this game a blowout, but Missouri was able to hit timely shots to not allow Kentucky to get the lead over 16. Another big standout for me in this game was Kentucky's ability for their front court to dominate, with Amari Williams playing 29 minutes. He was 2 for 4 from the field. He had 8 boards and 14 points. He shot it well from the free throw line, being 10 for 12, with our 2 bigs shooting a combined 18 free throws and scoring 30 points combined. Trent Noah came in and played 10 minutes. He was 1 for 2 from the field. Knocked down a big three I thought was physical. Had 2 boards. Travis Perry came in and knocked down a big three when the clock was going down for the shot clock, and I thought gave us a little bit of energy. Did a pretty good job with Missouri's pressure. They're one of the better pressure teams in the country that tries to create transition. And another guy that really hurt Kentucky in this game was Marcus Rarick, the senior 6'3" guard I've talked about in the past. He's a Lexington native who, coming this game, only averaged around 7 points. The transfer from Western, who averaged around 20 points last year, really lit it up in this game, scoring 17 points off the bench in only 14 minutes, so he was really effective. His other bench partner that really hurt Kentucky was Jacob Krause, the 6'8", 210-pound forward, averaged around 5 points on the year, who last year was a really knockdown shooter at 41%, but this year only shooting around 34%. In this game, he really played well, being 5 for 11 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. He had 4 boards and 12 points. Him and Mitchell were Missouri's 3 guys at double figures. Missouri in the second half was able to get the lead down to as little as 5. Missouri went on a run at the end to get it somewhat close, but Kentucky was able to hold on. In the middle section of the second half, Kentucky struggled to shoot free throws at times, but at the end, we were able to knock them down, be confident, and I really like what we did from that. Kentucky had more assists than turnovers in this game. We had 13 assists. Would like to see that assist number a little bit higher, but at least a 1-to-1 is nice. This is one of Kentucky's higher total free throws, shooting 33 free throws. Kentucky is not a team that's known for making it to the stripe, shooting 26 of 33, and a Missouri team that's known for getting in the free throw line this year, not last year, but Missouri shot 21 free throws to Kentucky's 33. It was a really physical game by both teams, but it seemed like Kentucky was able to do better with the physical. There weren't a whole lot of and-ones, so it was hard fouls, and Kentucky was able to take advantage and make the free throws when it counts. Kentucky played 8 guys in this game that played at least 10 minutes. So overall, Kentucky didn't have the deepest rotation, but played about 8 to 9 guys. It'll be interesting to see how matchups go forward, how that rotation changes, if the freshmen will play. And I think Colin Chandler is really starting to establish himself as a guy that can give you some really good minutes, double-digit minutes a night, being somebody who can knock down threes and do some good defensive things. And for Kentucky, this is good for especially their NCAA seed line. Hopefully this puts them up to at least a 3 seed going into the SEC tournament where you're going to be playing a lot of really good teams, and that puts you strong on that 3 line. And right now I'm recording this we're still waiting on a few more finals to see where Kentucky will end up in the SEC standings. If Texas A&M loses to LSU, or if Texas A&M and Ole Miss lose, they will end up as the 5. If Texas A&M wins and Ole Miss loses, they'll end up as the 6. For Kentucky going into Champ Week, it will be interesting to see how their draw ends up for the tournament, with Kentucky being that clear Thursday team and just going to be a tough 3 days. This is going to be the first time in a while Kentucky's been not a Friday team. I think the last time Kentucky was not a Friday team was 2021. That was the year that Kentucky was really bad. But that just shows you how loaded this SEC is, that Kentucky could potentially be a 3 seed and you're still playing on Thursday. Going forward, we're going into a big week, being Champ Week. I'm probably going to come out with an episode on Monday talking about Kentucky's matchups when the bracket really shows itself for the SEC tournament, and we'll have an even clearer picture for the NCAA tournament going into the final week before the NCAA tournament. And that's all from the Quest Number 9 podcast. My name is Seth Warner, and if you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you like this content, I also write sports articles, so go find that at questfornumber9.com. And if you're listening to us on podcasts, please download this episode and leave us a good review. I will see you next time.